Hello, 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 everyone. I am Allie Ray. I am here with my beloved co-host, Lou Martin. Hello, Lou,
Hello.
and
Hi, Ali. Welcome.
welcome to View from Love. We're excited to have you join us on this podcast journey of extraordinary love. So, welcome to our inaugural podcast. We are so honored and over the moon excited to welcome our very first guest, Dr. Nicky Hamid. Nicky is known the world over as the professor of happiness. He has a PhD in psychology, specializing in self-awareness, human potential, and social psychology. He is well versed in Eastern and Western spiritual traditions and has tens of thousands of online followers where he daily guides awakening hearts and has for over a decade. His
Beautiful.
book, All You Can Be, Empowering Awakening Angels, is a classic in the home library for many on the spiritual path. And his recent book that he published this last year, Humanity Rising, Journey from Fear and Control to Love and Freedom, beautiful book. And it is a great new addition to the home library. And all of these and other wonderful books by Nicky Hamid are available internationally on Amazon. So I could personally go on and on about this brilliant man who has touched my heart for so many, many years. But I really cannot wait to introduce you all to him so you get to know this beautiful soul. So, beloved Nicky, welcome to View from Love, and we are so excited and honored to have you here today.
Thank you, darling, and I am too. So happy to be here. Yeah, I always get excited, as we all do, don't we? When
Yes.
we join and to be with you, Lou.
Thank you.
We had a brief time together a little while ago, and it's
Yes.
so lovely. It's so lovely to be in your presence.
Thank you, brother. God bless you. And you sent me a lovely little Calvin and Hobbes dancing by the stereo, rocking out. So that pulled me in right there. That was great.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I just immediately something comes to mind, education, because education is my thing, always has been. But the first public school in the Renaissance period in Venice, it was named the House of Joy.
Wow.
Oh, that's perfection.
Yeah. And so that's what we're building now on this world. A place of joy, a place of joy. And it feels so joyful being with you two.
Oh, thank you, Nicky. Yes, we are over the moon excited. I mean, we've been buzzing for days. I'm anticipating your being here. And Lou and I were sharing about just the wonderful resonance to have with others that have that joyful innocence and aren't afraid to bring it out. You know, no matter what's going on out there in the world, you know, those of us that are excited to be alive and to celebrate life and each other and joy and all the reasons to be in love every day.
Yeah.
And you have been such an inspiration, Nicky. You've been just waving that flag and you have been a bundle of joy. You know, your presence online and, you know, you've just been in the hearts of so many people for so long.
Well,
it's true.
I've been so fortunate to come here in this incarnation. Just a little background is rather nice because it's very, very poignant for what we're going through, humanity is going through now.
Yes, please.
I have seen in the past incarnations that I have been in, and the last 10, I died before I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah. And the very last one before I came in 1941 when the bombs were falling around London. I came in, the previous incarnation, I've been a little child following my parents in the queue, going into a house and being gassed in the gas chambers.
Right. Bless you.
But you know, and every time it's like I know that now I came this time around, that I was going to extract every bit of joy out of this life, because they're not going to take me. I'm not going. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not going until I've completed. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that has been my life, walking this walk, but always knowing I have company.
Wow.
And
Beautiful.
so when I was 5 years old, I was walking, it was after the war, and there were bombed houses in our terrace, because there were terrace houses in London, and there were bombed ones. I always used to run past the bomb blacked out buildings because they were scary. You know, 5 years old, going to school on my own, and I walked past, there was a church, and the gate was open, and I looked down, and at the doorway, the church door was open, and there was, right down the end of the aisle, there was a stained glass window. It was very beautiful, and the light was shining through that, so I could see right through. And then a figure appeared in the door, and it was Jesus.
Right.
It was Jesus.
Right. Right.
And I knew that he and others would always walk with me if I asked.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And so that has been my life, being able to walk through and know that the path is given to us. Each one of us is given. And now it seems like impossible. How do we change things? But they are. The life is one. The life is one. And so I know that. It's demonstrated in my life that I can play human, get immersed in it, but there's someone there always present, because we have an entourage. We have an entourage of soul presences at all levels who are available to us. But we must ask. All we need to do is ask.
Yeah.
So I came in after 10. I'm extracting the joy out of this life, and I tell you, I've had met obstacles and challenges like we all have, inwardly, as well as outwardly.
Yeah.
But the divine can do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And
Amen, brother.
And that's I smile.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. Beautiful.
You know, actually, I love that, Nicky. You recently did put a post up about the smile. You know, and I would wonder if you would speak just a little bit on that now for anyone who hasn't maybe seen that.
Well, could I do a little process for everyone who's listening?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, guys, sit back in your chair or wherever you are sitting, and just close your eyes for a moment. And this is my makeover. It's a 1-minute makeover. It takes a little bit longer, but you can make over yourself. We're going into something that you will know when you feel it. All right, now you're in the chair and you're in physicality. You're in a physical body, and you can feel your body, the weight of the body of the chair on your back, or the support on your back. Your bottom is being held. You can feel the weight of your body on your bed or the chair or wherever you're sitting. Just be aware of the weight. And you can sense the room, the walls of the room you're in. That's physical and solid. You're sitting on the chair. Your feet are on the floor, and the floor is supporting your feet. And think as if you've got roots growing out of your feet, and they're going through the floor, into the ground, and out, spread out in all directions like a good tree would. And so you're anchored firmly in this physicality. This is physicality. It's strong, it's firm, it holds us. It holds our body. It feels solid and strong. Now, be aware of your heart. Just be aware of your heart beating. If you can't feel it, imagine it. The physical heart beating away there in your body. Your home. Welcome home. Just sit with that. And the smile comes. I'm here. I'm here. That is you, soul being, in embodiment. That smile of knowing. Open your eyes. This is physicality. This is the movie. This is the movie. And there you are in there and smile. It knows. You know. It is just what it is. It needs no description. Here I am. I'm here. And for some of you, this is the first time you've actually realized that it's that easy. That smile is who you are. That smile is one of contentment. There's nothing to do. Everything just is what it is. And that's why I say go to smile. Because most of the time we have learned that the body does not feel safe being here. Because you've had incarnations where you've been tortured and all sorts of things have happened to you in this traumas. And so we're not properly in our body. And ascension is soul in embodiment. And as soon as you get smile, you're an embodiment. You're present. That is fifth dimensional being. Here I am. Somebody has yelled at you or tries to put you down. When you can see it may not be immediately, you react or whatever, but you go back, you come back to smile. And then in smile, you can ask, how does love see it? Because you are. There you are. And love is the expression of that smile, that knowing, that shine. And physically, it actually does something. Physically, it secretes all the bliss hormones in the body, because when you're in smile, your eyes glisten. Your eyes glisten. You have the grin coming on your face, but the eyes glisten and the heart beats strongly and the breath is slower, gentler, and much more powerful and deep. It just is, just like a baby. And that is the innocence of human. The innocence of human is the being, the soul being, seeing and loving who you have fashioned. This Nicky fellow, this Lou fellow that you've created, this Ali, beautiful Ali. Yes, this is who we have fashioned, and we can play. So I could come from having been put to sleep in a gas chamber, through the birth canal, into a place where there was a lot of fear, and learn to handle it. Because luckily for me, or my path was to have parents who allowed me to be who I was. And I was a crazy boy.
Me too.
I got into trouble without trying.
Oh, you're very curious, Nicky, and joyful, curious boy.
Yeah, curious. I get whatever was there was inviting me, and so I was action bound. not worried about the consequences. That didn't matter. But here is something to do. And my parents would, of course, guide me and even punish. Yeah, yeah. But they didn't judge.
Mm.
They didn't judge.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Brilliant.
And so
Thank you.
these are parts of where we're at now.
Hmm.
Humanities are. Stop judging yourself. You fashioned this, and you can. I've fashioned this Nicky fellow, and he's not perfect. Who cares? Who cares?
Yes.
What other people think of me does not concern me, because mostly they're not thinking of me. They're thinking of what other people think of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So get over it now and play. Just find your joy. Find your joy.
Yeah.
I love,
Beautiful.
Nicky, how you do. You so beautifully express and remind us, everyone who's been following you, you remind us the relationship of joy and love. You know, that it isn't just, you know, deep, quiet meditation and reading and isolation, you know, all the different ways that people say, oh, I feel the most loving in this way. But you are a constant reminder of, you can't remove the joy from love.
No.
You know, love in its essence is joy. That joy is there even in the quiet moments.
Yeah.
But our outside world has conditioned us to suppress that.
Yeah.
You know, to really, it's a funny thing how many people will glare angrily at somebody who's overtly joyful.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
skipping and laughing and smiling. They're like, oh, calm down. Oh, be quiet. Oh, what's that? You know, like, oh, settle down. Or it's really funny because it's our nature, as you said, Nicky.
Yeah.
Like it's within us to naturally be joyful.
Right. Yeah. And I think this is the one men have the most difficulty with. Is not knowing joy, but expressing it. Because, for example, I've seen so often couples going and she's they're window shopping, and she says, "Oh, that's lovely. Isn't that beautiful?" And can say it's beautiful without needing to have it. The guy stands back. He can't share his delight just as delight. He has to have a reason. He has to have a reason. And that's something we, as guys, have to learn, to be able to share our delight without having a reason or having to justify ourselves.
Yeah.
Sure. Beautiful. I love the quote from Abraham, who says, Esther Hicks, who says, the basis of life is freedom and the purpose of life is joy.
Yeah.
And I love what you're saying, both of you, you know, that when my phrase, Nicky, is let me get out of my own way.
Yep.
You know, build a bridge and get over yourself, you know, free myself from the burden of thinking I have to be some way or someone or something like that. And Ali and I have talked about this. This is why we've hooked up here, and we love hanging out with each other. And you're another, you know, playful, joyous soul, because the more we love and accept ourselves, the freer I think we become in life.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is, you know, people want to know, how do we get out of this dilemma that the masses are not thinking? You know, there's common sense is very uncommon at the moment.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And it's because they're afraid. You know, there's so much stress and they are afraid. So it is dealing with that fear. We know love is the antidote to fear, but it's that's why I think we who heard the call and are, if you like, more aware of this essence of love and joy are the healers. And we have to build or help to build the bridge. The bridge so that they can express and feel their joy. my antidote for this is any way that people can step out and construct a bridge to joy.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
That's so absolutely true. You know, I was saying to Lou that when you connect at that level of joy, you know, that just blissful, joyful, there's no concern. There's no, you know, there's no concern about the hows or the whats or anything. It just comes together. And the more that you allow yourself to align with others in that way, and then share that reflection, it's giving more people permission to visit that within themselves and then
Yeah,
share it in their own life.
yeah, because
That's,
as we've seen, it's so easy to get into smile. It's really
yeah,
simple to be
yes.
present. And once your soul is present, your soul recognizes joy, it recognizes light. And so it's going to guide the person towards more of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to just come into their life. And those who, if you like, know a little more, are the ones who are available, present, to show them how they live joy.
Yeah.
And that's the contagion.
Yeah.
That's the virus
Yes.
that
Yes.
Yes, please.
cannot be cured. Cannot be cured.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes. And may it never be cured. That is the
Yeah.
that is the contagion, Nikki. You're exactly right. And that is what we are needing to spread. You know,
Yes.
more and more the willingness to be overt and be present and be seen. Be seen as the joy and the love that we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So many of the things I taught as a social psychologist to my students are very relevant to today, but there's one thing I haven't heard it discussed very much. Is something they call behavioural contagion. That there are many, many instances. For example, there was a factory in the States where there was a great deal of stress, and one woman contracted this symptom of a skin erupting and sores coming on her skin, and they couldn't. It was seen by a lot of people, a few of the people in the factory, and when they diagnosed, they couldn't diagnose the reason for it. The reason for it. But what happened is it started popping up in the co-workers, and then the whole factory got this thing that they couldn't diagnose. And of course, in the end, the psychologist came up with the idea of behavioural. It was something seen or done by the other person, and it was contracted. The relief of the stress came out as a symptom. Okay.
Yes.
So we have
Yes.
behavioural, we have social contagion, we have shadow contagion, because shadows jump from one person to another. And so it's very easy to say this phenomena we're seeing, where people seem really dumbed down and like they're mesmerized. It's true. It's the social psychologists call it what's it? Mass
formation.
Psychosis.
Mass formation.
Yes.
Mass formation, because it's the way they deal with stress. The stress, our stress in our modern world is nothing that you can deal with, like a lion standing there.
Right.
But the stress is felt, and there's no way of getting rid of it, and it's accumulated, and it's accumulated for humanity. The stress of the ages is upon us. The karma's rising, and all the rest of it. So human beings are under tremendous stress. And what do they need? Love. And where does the love come from? It comes from within. And that's where the smile is so simple and so critical. Because once you smile, you come back down to reality. You're in 3D, but not of 3D. And then you learn to love what you have created in 3D. This
Yeah.
Nicky fellow is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's clumsy. He's clumsy. He's forgetful. Bless his heart. But
Yeah.
I love being and seeing through his eyes
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
and having the experience of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Taking the pressure off, huh? And just accepting and trusting and being willing to learn, you know?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something else that's been part of my life. I've tested and proved to myself anyway that there is a great plan. Nobody knows the plan. Nobody knows the plan, but there's a plan.
Yeah.
And each one of us has what the Indians call dharma. Dharma or is duty, but it's not duty imposed from without. It is the law of your own unfolding, your unique unfolding. And so everything comes to you in order to bring about that unfolding. And some things we don't like and we fight against. But when you stop the fight, it's all perfect. It perfectly fits.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people who come to you, what they say, what they do. And when you know this, and I know Ali's lived like this since whenever. We all fall, trip up, but that gives us an opportunity to pull ourselves out
Yes.
and find our strength.
Yes.
Reaffirm and deepen our knowing.
Yes.
Yeah. And it actually, Nicky, it's a good point, because our indoctrination as humans, we get trained into this resistance mode. But the deeper we go into our heart and really connect, as you say, with the Dharma, it's about flow. And as you do have your hiccups and your moments where something, hits you and it takes you into a state of pause, rather than feeling yourself tense up and get into a resistance mode, it becomes a sacred pause. It brings you back, it's like everything gets turned right side up, I should say, because it is upside down. And we're discovering that really everything that's natural to us, all of our responses, when they're seen from that heart level, everything becomes a sacred moment and a sacred act and a sacred pause, rather than a defensive, tense mechanism, of reaction and resistance. And that is something that you have given to so many, Nicky, over the years. And I have to say, my heart has just been so gifted by you and your presence. Absolutely, yes, because you have had this beautiful way of expressing all that it is to be human, but with such lightness and love, to help bring us all back to the fact that it's a blessing to be here. It is a blessing to be alive, and there is a blessing in every struggle. Every moment of resistance and every moment of fall and every moment of frustration, there is a gift waiting for us if we'll just open ourselves up to that. And it's true, like, again, you reinforce that joy, because even if in the moment of dealing with the struggle you're not feeling joyful, that joyful essence is never not with you. Like, as you say, like in your heart, the essence of our heart, peace, joy, love, ease, our smile, who we truly are is never separate from us. Even if we're having a momentary experience where we've separated ourselves out of it, And so, Nicky, you are such I have to take this moment again and just tell you how much I deeply, deeply love you. I so love you. And it is really, truly an honor for me to know you and to love you. And to be able to have this moment here to bring you to the world and share your heart and your shine and your smile with everyone. Because if I had my way, the entire world would be blessed with a view from love through Nicky Hamid's eyes. To have that, just to have the blessing of that sight, Nicky, I just love you beyond words.
Yeah.
Truly.
Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. The we of me, the we of you. Yeah, this is it. You know, whatever anybody feels from anything I've said or done, if you feel it, then that was yours. It wasn't just mine. It's ours.
Yes.
It is ours. This is unity consciousness, that we resonate off each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you for seeing you and me.
There you go.
No. And thank you. Yes, thank you for the opportunity for all of us to see ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a
Well,
wow, that blessing of that.
yeah. What
Yeah.
you said previously is a beautiful gift, and thank you. And it's a perfect introduction to my next book, which is hopefully coming out in March, to follow the Humanity Rising. And guess what I'm calling it? Beautiful Human.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Because humans have been given a bad rap. For thousands of years, they've been given a bad rap. And it's time to drop it. It's time to drop it. Because I've seen some, if you like, rat bags. I've experienced people I don't want to be near, and people who have certainly pressed my buttons. Every one of them's pressed my buttons, which is great. But I've seen everywhere I've gone people who are doing the best they can in the parameters they've given. And the indomitability of the human spirit is just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to help others see the beauty in who they are, like me feeling about this Nicky fellow. I love him. I do love him. I can't not love him, even with his failures, even with his clumsiness and tripping over things, whatever, because I know what it's taken for each one person, each of us to come here. I know what it's taken for so many to go through the obstacles and the traumas and the pressures of being in this 3D. But I've seen in so many ways how people rise above, how people pick themselves up, dust themselves down, and start all over again. And humans came on this planet initially in their innocence, in the times of Mu, and their innocence, and they lived in innocence. And visitors duped them because they were so trusting and so loving and knew so well who they were and the joy of living. And it got hoodwinked, but that's another story, and that's all in its place. But it's all in its place only when you can love who you are. When you love who you are, you don't have to like everything other people do or want to be near them, but you cannot help but see the light of soul that they are. And to have the compassion to understand of what they're going through, but not to buy into anything. As a human being, I feel sad sometimes when I see things, but quickly that changes to compassion and love. I'm sad because I know what I have an inkling to what they're feeling, but I'm sad also because I know that there's so much more, and it's so close. All they need is, as Ali was talking about, turn around. All they need is to turn around. And we live in the universe. What's a universe? Uni, one. Verse, turn. Make a turn. Just turn it all around. It's funny because my posting this morning was about deliberately doing the perception for a day, making everything that's out there in here, and everything that's in here out there, and how just to switch it all around. That's what we're doing in this time. And then turn it all around, turn it upside down and inside out, and play with it. Not take ourselves so seriously. So it is those two, Calvin and Hobbes, dancing.
Yes.
Or other one I like to share is Calvin and Hobbes taking a flying leap into a puddle.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Nicky, I love what you're saying, my friend. You have tremendous wisdom to share with all of us. Can we, where you started today, you know, talking about remembering 10 incarnations is, of course, jaw-dropping to most of us, myself included. But what I really want to hear you speak about is, as you said, you just touched on it very beautifully right there. The looking past the illusion is so available to all of us. Seeing life as a mirror, seeing our inner and our outer connected and reflected in our relationships, being here with both of you right now, all of that. Asking for help, my friend. This is the thing that most people don't understand, don't get, don't see, you know, is so available. So the way, when I'm channeling, my guides say it to me is, all prayer begins in humility and ends in gratitude. And so when we through crisis or chaos, we're humbled, or through our daily devotions, we've learned to humble ourselves. If we're wising up a little bit, you know, and waking up a little, I think all of us, and we say, thank you, God, for being in my life today. And I know that all is well, and you will guide me through this day to do your will. Words to that effect. Does that resonate with your path and what you've discovered and how you live?
Yes and no.
Okay.
No,
Good answer.
well, yes, thy will be done. But thy will be done in me, through me, by me, to the glory of creation.
Very good. Yeah.
I have been given the amazing gift of free will to choose exactly what I want, what I prefer, what I long for. And I get to choose that, and I must, in order to be a human being, co-creating, I must choose. So I must ask for those, if you like, for greater authority sight, if I can't see and I want to see. But it's not just to help me now, and it's like, well, I've done that, I've done my asking. No, it's in the moment, because what is crucial for us is that we're beings with choice. Always choice. Because shadow is just the place of no in between, dark and light, as it were. And it's God-given, because how would we know free will if there wasn't a point where there's neither this nor that?
Sure.
So,
yeah.
So we must choose. So thy will be done through me is really the alignment of energy. It's the alignment of frequency we're asking for. But the choice is always must be ours. Because how does, God's not a being, but how does God have the gift of our reflection of creation back to him if we don't have the free will to choose what we do and how we experience it.
Yeah.
Choice beings, this is who we are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can't leave the choice to him or that.
Yeah. But
That's
that the help is so available.
the
Right?
help,
That the help is so available.
the energy, the frequency, and they can bring things to you that you long for, as it were. They can bring the conditions, but we still have to see and make the choice. And we can miss good opportunities because our mind interferes with the choice. Yeah. So we learn from that.
Yes.
Yeah, we learn from that. Does that make sense? So I'm not
Yes.
disagreeing with you, but
No.
I think the crucial thing is choice. We
100%.
must have a choice.
Yes.
And
But
that with your guides, they don't answer. They don't answer in black and white. They answer in flavors, and it expands your vision and therefore expands your opportunity of choice.
Sure.
And because they see, for example, I lie down every day. And I lie down and I give myself to my higher spirit team.
Right.
And I say, please come into my auric field because I must give permission. They would not come in without my permission. Please come into my field, clean up, if you like, delete and defrag. Anything that is an obstruction and go as deep as you can because they can see, I can't.
Sure.
Because I'm busy with my human life,
Sure.
I can see some things, we can do some clearing, but some of the wounds, because we are soul beings of aeons and aeons of experience, not just lifetimes, but in other realms of experience, levels of frequency and so on.
Yeah.
And so in our auric field, there are layers and layers of light, layers and layers of love. So how we describe love in human is just not it. It's so much more.
Yeah.
And as we go deeper, of course, it's beyond words. It's beyond logic. But we get to know the power of it because it's in that auric field and we're unpacking it. We're unpacking it as we bounce through the joy.
Yes.
We unpack it. And boy, you get used to your heart almost wanting to burst because you want to everywhere. So you learn ways of, and you go to deep layers of love within yourself, which can spread this out because we're mighty soul beings. We're mighty soul beings.
Yeah.
And I like to lighten it a bit. I remember, I almost remember when I was coming in this time, the angel saying, looking at what my blueprint was and saying, thank goodness we're only making one of each. Because we're unique. They know the trouble we're going to cause. But I say this in a mischief-like way, because we are. Each of us create waves, and it affects everybody. So we're very powerful. We're very powerful. Beautiful and very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's actually such a good point. There were two things that were coming through for me, and that was to bring us back to how you reminded us that we don't do the heavy lifting. So, in the asking, Lou, as you so beautifully brought up, it's like, yes, it is natural and it is actually a blessing, to the cosmos for us to ask for the
Yes,
things that we wish to ask for. You know,
absolutely.
there's no shame, blame, none of that kind of stuff about in the asking. And then it's also, you know, ask and it is given, but it's not our responsibility to do all the work to manifest and make things happen. And I think that's where so many people become so overwhelmed,
Yes,
almost paralyzed in being able to move forward in their lives because they feel that they have to have the answers, they have to do it alone. And that gets you kind of stuck in the quicksand, you know what I mean? Because you have this
absolutely.
belief it's just
Yeah.
on you, and it truly isn't. And yet at
Mhm.
the same time, Nikki, as you said, we have the choice. So
Mm.
it's that moment, moment by moment, choosing that yes, I am assisted. Yes, I am loved. Yes, I don't have to see the way right now. You know, I don't have to have
Right.
the answer right now. Right
Yeah,
now, it's to
Yeah.
breathe and to receive, and my choice is to be in that receptive mode. You know,
yes,
Yeah.
to allow love to reveal itself. What is
Yeah.
coming for me to
Yeah.
to witness, and then, as you say, Nikki, choose. And
Mm.
that is that, you know, that I can't even express the times where I've literally had that experience where I've had the alignment and the knowing that I am receiving fully that which I had put out and asked for, and that there are no words for that.
no,
Because it has nothing to do with, like, you know, you're trying to get a car and you get the car, oh, that feels great. No, we're talking on that heart soul level, things that resonate with your heart song, and you
mm,
call them
Yeah.
forward and you don't know how they're going to happen. You have
mm.
no idea. You just know in your heart that it's a desire, you
Yeah,
know, and
Yes.
that desire is magnetizing itself to you.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the not knowing is exciting. It's like the child,
Yes.
you know. My brother and I jumping up and down on the bed the night before Christmas, so excited. We didn't know. We didn't
Yeah.
know what we were going to get.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was going to be a surprise, and life can be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much.
I mean, you know what, Nikki, it is like that. And
Mm,
it's, you know what, we just got in the way. You know, we forgot that we love to be surprised.
yeah,
Yeah.
We've
yeah,
squeezed the
Yeah.
surprise and the fun out of life by trying
yes.
to
Yeah.
plan it and manage it and tell it what it's going to be.
Yes.
Trying
Yeah.
to know, trying
Yeah.
to know, and the
Yeah.
curiosity.
Yeah.
Your curiosity that if there's something I want to follow, it's because I'm curious.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm going through the forest picking up golden nuggets, and I know that round the corner I can't see, but the golden nuggets will continue. So I dive into something new,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
every day there's something for me. You know, even in the internet,
Mm.
you know, I can look on my YouTube channel, and I get things coming up that I never asked for. The algorithm must be doing it, but I think someone else is doing it too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I've had these.
Yes. God in the algorithm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We all affect the algorithm, whether they have a
Right.
mathematical procedure or not. That's something else. That we are having an effect. We have this, and we draw this to them. My books, for
Yes.
example, the one I've written recently, Humanity Rising, the kind of feedback I'm getting is the magic of what it's doing for people. But
Yes.
I tell
Yes.
you what, it's not just the fact that I've written them or they come from me, because I know, I don't say I believe, but I know that because other people have read many of those things and have resonated and have brought it into their life, that gives power to those words. So this is why I say it's not me, it's we. So
Sure.
that book
Yes.
becomes powerful by the reader's participation, and it adds to the next person, and it makes it easier. And this is the way
Yes.
we're going to do things, or we are doing
Yeah.
things. People
Yes.
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
making a difference.
Yes. And Nikki,
Beautiful.
I want to
Yeah.
mention that book that I mentioned in the introduction, which was All You Can Be,
Mm,
you know, support for awakening angels. And I have to say, you know, it's been years since you put that book out, but the amount of angels walking on planet Earth that I know who have read that book, who have taken that book into their heart and who have shared that with others. You know, the magnitude of energy, of love, and that high vibration of our angelic essence, our soulful essence, that book is so incredibly powerful. And just to the point that you just said, you know, over time, every beautiful heart and soul that has touched those words and have now been living those words, you know, they're literally the living embodiment of the vibrations of that book. And that is, it is a glory and a beauty, and it is beyond words. It truly, truly is, when we know what things actually are.
Yes, and everybody does this. Everybody does this. Like the little old lady, I've seen it so many times, but I remember back to the first one who impacted me. I was a child, or a young boy, but she was a lady who worked in her little cottage, and she beautiful garden, flowers and so on. She had plums, and she used to share the plums to us children when we went by. And she was just so much in love with the garden and so on. And she was touching people all the time. So that touch of love and the beauty. And there are so many people in different ways. I've seen this happening all the time. So love has never disappeared.
No.
And it's growing.
Yes.
It's growing. So everybody has the same effect. So nothing is too small. And that's the humility you were talking about, Lou.
Yes.
Yeah, that feeling of humility I love, because it is, for me, it's represented, and I've actually done it on a couple of occasions, gone to somebody who struggled and is struggling, gone to their feet and bathed their feet, and feeling the honor of that. That's the humble, but it's not meek. It's actually strong. It makes me feel bigger. In the joy of that honoring the presence and the life of another being. So beautiful. my joy comes from other people's joy. Most of all, I think, by sharing and seeing the joy in others. And that's, if you like, that humility, this humble greatness, as it were.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, beautiful.
Our support, you're talking about the support, our company of heaven, I call them. All kind.
Right.
They love it. They just love and adore when somebody asks for help.
Yes.
And it's not in desperation, but in their fullness of taking their own sovereignty.
Yes. Beautiful.
And
yes, honoring our worth.
Yeah. They just love it. Can you imagine? We were on the other side, and you're standing right up close to someone who's broken. It feels like they've got a broken heart.
Yeah.
And they're calling, and they don't hear you. How much love is that? Still stay there. So it's the same. It's the same for us. It's the same for us, because it's like it is a hierarchy in a sense, and the hierarchy is not authority over. It is authority from the knowing, because our mentors, someone who's had an experience that we haven't had, or we're not able to see at this point of time.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
so
beautiful.
So we give them the authority of their knowing.
Yeah, brilliant.
And if we're open to that, it comes just like from each other.
Yeah. Gorgeous. I've never had that experience of washing another's feet, but I have that to look forward to. But it is, like you say, it's acknowledging our oneness and
Yeah,
our sacred worth in a loving way, and that breaks every heart open every time.
yeah, right.
You know, it's
I
beautiful.
remember taking a retreat. I think why I remember it, probably it's the second to last retreat I've taken, and they were all standing in the circle, and I was going around speaking to each person individually, and I came to this woman, and all I could do was go to her feet, so I went down, held her bare feet, and put my forehead on it, and she collapsed and burst into tears and so on. She
Right, right,
couldn't say what it was, but a couple of weeks later, she
right.
wrote to me and she said, I'm Muslim. And the fact that it was a man doing it and an older man just broke all my conditioning of the
Wow.
fear and judgment of males in my
Mhm.
life. So we just
Yes.
don't know. We just don't know.
Yes, we don't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that healing from men towards women that needs to happen, my brother, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate you share that because I recognize that in my life as well.
Mm,
There are many women that feel terrified and terrorized by their relationships with men, and
yeah.
no man has ever taken responsibility or apologized or
Mm,
asked for forgiveness,
mm,
and the world's crying out for that.
yes.
So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. And I think simple things like, your smile, because the smile from within is so different. It's contentment, being content, because you project that being content. And women,
Hmm.
most women who are very sensitive and can pick that feeling up as opposed to desire, the desire
Yeah,
for the body of another. And
yeah,
that's where the compute, but we project these illusions. Yeah, we,
Yeah.
being in smile and being content, being in neutrality, being a
Mhm.
watcher and a listener as well as a speaker and a doer. Um, it is felt, and more people are getting sensitive to that. More
yeah,
people are knowing without absolutely knowing logically or any way where the light
yeah.
is, where the
Yes.
light is, especially when
Yes.
we come in front of people and we have no agenda, no
Yes.
agenda,
Mm.
Yes.
no
Just
agenda,
being.
just to
Just
be here.
being.
Yeah,
Yes. Because when you can allow everything, when you can allow everything, you energetically are giving another permission to love and forgive and heal themselves,
yeah,
that which is in turmoil in themselves. And so, really, the highest responsibility I feel is to honor and love every bit of me that I have injured, wounded, felt any which way, to love it so completely that there is not another soul who could sit in my presence and not feel wholly loved,
mm,
no matter
yeah,
what burden they're carrying or shame or judgment that they've condemned themselves for. So many people are walking around in pain, hanging on their own crucifix,
mm,
and they don't feel
Mm.
that it's okay to come down. And because they're hurting
Yeah,
themselves, they're projecting that pain on others because it hurts like hell to
yeah,
carry that around. And so, you can only do
yeah,
that so long before you're going off and screaming at people at the grocery store or wherever, projecting all of this
sure.
pain because you're holding that. You've condemned yourself. And so all of us being able to experience life, our own life, through the eyes of love, every bit of us bringing love to all the parts of us, that's how we heal the world that we're looking at that's in despair.
mm,
Because the
Yeah,
more that we are this contentment, as you say, Nikki, and the more that we are at peace and we're neutral and we're allowing nature to be nature, right? We're allowing the pain to come before us, to kneel at our feet, the pain, and to love that pain, to know that it is in fact love returning, to itself.
Mm.
You know, it's all this, it's an incredible blessing, every single experience that we all have, and every one that we have had, even
Yeah.
the ones, and most especially the ones that we've condemned. You know, they were our greatest
Right.
teacher. They were our greatest teacher.
Right.
And they are often the greatest healer for us when we
Yeah.
go into those.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and to speak on that, Lou, about, you know, the male and the masculine and feminine, you know, healing that aspect within ourselves individually, in every being, the masculine and feminine within us, then allows us to be in that balance, you know, and that contentment. And then our
Yeah.
relationships externally become much more balanced, you know, the masculine and the feminine,
Yeah.
and all the fears go, because
Yeah.
you know that you are a being in your wholeness. You know, you're present with you.
Yeah.
And when you are content and at ease with you, there's nothing to fear in another.
Mm.
You
That's
know?
right. Well said.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And respect is the word that comes to
Yes.
mind.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
feeling
it's
that
respect,
respect and offering that respect.
and it's more, to me, it's like a reverence, if I can just say that, because respect, you know,
Yeah.
growing up in programming, I know that especially in the US, you know, we'd hear respect them, respect respect the, you know, respect the ones that are in charge. And really the place that I think we're all moving to is the reverence for the soul, the being within everyone and everything. It's a reverence that
Beautiful.
we're seeking more even than, you know, the distortions culturally that we've been told to respect. I mean, to be in a place of reverence, you know, I've been, as Nikki shared, you know, I went to care for someone, and I bathed that person, you know, and I can't even express into words what it feels like when you are loving another human being who you're not forced to, you're not obligated to, you're not being paid to, and it's not your relative, but you are actually bringing your own lovingness in wholeness to another human being in a physical vessel, honoring them. There aren't even words to describe what that does to your own heart.
Yeah, honey.
Like the
Yeah. It's
oneness, the
that
oneness.
selfless service.
Oh, because you realize in that doing, in that act, how beautiful it is to be human. The gift and the blessing it is to be in a body and to experience all the things that that miracle, the vessel, gives us. And Nikki, I'm so excited about your book, you know, The Beautiful Human.
Yeah. Well,
It just couldn't be more perfect.
yeah, because it's so hard. The wounds are deep.
Oh,
Deep in the soul of even being afraid of our own power, because we've done the life where we've gone into battle and hacked and hewn the people, and then gone into the town and pillaged and raped and so on. These sorts of things. We know how powerful we are when we're in our feeling, the feeling of powerlessness, which brings the anger and the self-hate that's
Right.
required. The self-hate, and we've been taught that humans are powerless. It's the survival of the fittest, was the unkind lie that came from the origin of the species and Darwin. All these things we've been taught this, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Look at any baby, and you see someone beautiful straight from God,
yeah.
and that's you and I. That's every one of us. And so we have to, as it were, reprogram. But you can't
Yeah.
reprogram yourself with your mind. You have to move the 18 inches from your head to your heart. You have to move
Yes.
them.
Yay.
Yeah, that's right. And that's
Yay.
very simplest things. As soon as you're aware you're off center, go breath, go to smile, hand on heart or whatever, something simple, and be there present for a moment. And when you're in there for a moment, then you're in the point of, well, say divine neutrality, but the point of no thingness. And when you're in the point of no thingness, soul being comes in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're there.
Beautiful.
And you're there.
Yeah.
And it's
Yes.
so
Yeah.
subtle. It's so subtle that most people at first don't realize it.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
subtle, but it's deep.
Yeah.
Yes. And to
Yeah.
what you say, Nicky, too, you know, I say this often, to the power of the words, I am here. They're incredibly powerful because you're claiming your presence, your soul being here. And here is the only place where everything is possible. And here is the only moment. And so it's incredibly powerful, any sort of tool that works for a person, as you say, you know, hands on heart, a breath, a smile, tuning in and reminding yourself that you are here. You can choose that. You can claim that and choose to be here now.
Yes.
And then what is life from that place now? You know, it's just incredible. It's incredible. And it's such a blessing for so many of us to be able to come together and share our joy and let the world know that, you know, yes, we're here. We're here. We're oneness. We're joy and we're love and we're here. So come on out. Come play. Come play with us.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's
And
simple. It's so simple.
Yeah. And then the times, you know, I'm in visiting times I've had and will have, and are coming for all of us, where at the end of a day where we've been involved and sharing and doing all kinds of things that we love doing, close to nature, but close to each other, and then sitting down around the fire and telling stories. And sipping a hot cuppa, chewing on something we like, that is totally decadent for some people, the chocolate chip or something like that, and just feeling content. That contentedness, that smile also, the feeling of content, nothing to do. Wow, that was delicious. That day was delicious. But we don't even have to say it. We just all feel it together. The deliciousness of life.
Yes.
Wow.
It's sweet. Life is sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
And I forgot to include somebody playing music in the background. Actually being present, playing. It's all possible. It's all so possible. And it's coming.
Yeah,
It's coming.
it is coming. I can
is
feel it.
coming.
I can feel it. I'm with you, Nicky. I feel it. I feel the celebration. I feel the celebration.
Every day.
Yeah, I really, truly do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me too.
Yay! And it's such a celebration, Nicky, to have you here on our very first podcast. Woo! View from Love. It has been just such an honor to have you, and I can't wait to have you back and share with us your new book.
Yeah, and I wish you so much joy in all your future sharings. I'm sure it will, because of you guys, who you are. Yeah,
Thank you.
I just love you both so much.
We love you.
We're just here for the fun.
We're here for fun. For fun and love and celebration. So everyone, thank you for joining us and for welcoming our fabulous guest, Nicky Hamid. Please hop onto Amazon and get his latest book, Humanity Rising. Also, All You Can Be Empowering Awakening Angels. It's a must-have. So a classic. Got to get that one. And you can find us on View from Love on Facebook. We're also on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify, and you can also find us with the Awakened Spirits Network. So you can find us there too. So thank you all for joining us. We love you, and we look forward to this amazing, incredible journey of love. View from Love. Mwah. Thank you all. We'll see
Thanks,
you next
guys.
time.
Thank you so much. Peace and blessings. Namaste. God bless you, Nikki. God bless you, Ali.
You too, Lou, Nikki. Love you.